Imagine your morning coffee, the phone in your hand, the car you drive to work. All of it arrives through an invisible network so efficient that it feels automatic. But what if that network isn't automatic at all? What if it's controlled by a handful of choke points, corporations, and governments that can tighten or release the flow at will? Most people assume supply chains are like a vast, decentralized web, thousands of companies competing freely, innovation driving resilience. But that picture is an illusion. In reality, a shadow network of concentrated control points makes the entire system extremely fragile and manipulable. Today, we're pulling back the curtain on how just-in-time logistics, shipping, rare earth minerals, and semiconductors are funneled through bottlenecks that give outsized power to a few actors. And once you see it, you can't unsee how easily everyday life can be disrupted. Why does this matter to you? Because when these choke points are squeezed intentionally or not, prices spike, shelves empty, and entire industries stall. Your next phone upgrade, the cost of groceries, even national security, all hang on decisions made in a few boardrooms and capital cities most people have never heard of. On the surface, global trade looks open and competitive. Ships sail constantly. Factories hum in dozens of countries. Just-in-time delivery keeps costs low and innovation high by minimizing wasteful inventory. You order something online and it shows up in days. It all feels seamless. But here's the contradiction most people miss. The more optimized and lean the system becomes, the more power flows to whoever controls the narrowest points in the network. The surface efficiency hides a deeply concentrated architecture underneath. Let's start with the arteries of global trade, shipping and containers. A tiny number of companies dominate container shipping. MSC, Maersk, CMA, CGM, and a handful of others control the vast majority of capacity. Alliances and these giants move the overwhelming share of the world's goods. But it's not just the ships. The routes themselves are funneled through critical choke points: the Suez Canal, Panama Canal, Strait of Malacca, Block 1, and rerouting adds weeks and massive costs. You've seen the headlines: a ship stuck in the Suez, Red Sea disruptions, Panama Canal drought issues. What looked like random events suddenly revealed how fragile the system is. But here's what's rarely said out loud. These disruptions are rarely purely random. Geopolitics, weather, and market incentives meet at these bottlenecks. And the actors who control capacity or routes gain enormous leverage. The mechanism is simple but powerful. Just-in-time means companies hold almost no extra stock. Goods flow continuously because the system promises reliability. When one link fails, there's no buffer. Production lines stop, prices jump, and the few players who can still move volume suddenly become even more essential. Think about your own life. When port congestion hit a few years ago, electronics prices rose, car lots emptied, and everyday items became scarce or expensive. That wasn't abstract economics, it was the shadow network showing its teeth. One choke point jammed, and the ripple hit your wallet and schedule. But shipping is only one layer. Go deeper into the materials that make modern technology possible. Rare earth minerals and critical materials sit at another massive choke point. China dominates the supply chain, producing around 70% of mining and controlling roughly 90% of processing and refining. For heavy rare earths essential to magnets in EVs, wind turbines, and defense systems, the concentration is even more extreme. How did this happen? Decades of strategic investment, subsidies, and consolidation while others stepped back. The result is a system where one country can restrict exports, adjust prices, or prioritize its own industries. When tensions rise, announcements about new controls send shockwaves through global markets. The mechanism here is vertical integration and processing dominance. It's not enough to mine the ore. The real power is in refining it into usable form. China built that capacity at scale. Others depend on it. So when Beijing tightens the valve even subtly, entire supply chains for phones, cars, and military hardware feel the pressure immediately. Picture this. Your next electric vehicle or smartphone relies on components whose raw materials flow through decisions made far from the assembly line. The just-in-time promise assumes those materials keep arriving. But one policy shift, and factories scramble while costs climb. Now, consider semiconductors the brains of everything digital. Here, the concentration is even more acute. TSMC in Taiwan produces the vast majority of the world's most advanced chips. ASML in the Netherlands holds a near monopoly on the extreme ultraviolet lithography machines needed to make them. A handful of companies and one geopolitically sensitive island control the cutting edge. The hidden mechanism is extreme specialization and economies of scale. Building a leading-edge fab costs tens of billions and requires years of expertise. Only a few players can do it at the volumes and yields the world demands. The result? The global economy has placed an enormous bet on a very small number of facilities in a high-risk location. You might be wondering right now, if this is so fragile, why hasn't it collapsed already? The answer is that the system has been running on thin margins of stability until something tests those choke points. A pandemic, a natural disaster, regional tensions, or deliberate pressure can expose how little buffer actually exists. This brings us to the escalation most people still underestimate. These aren't isolated vulnerabilities. They interconnect. A shipping disruption delays semiconductors. A rare earth restriction slows chip production and green tech. A Taiwan contingency would ripple through everything from AI servers to car electronics to consumer gadgets. The shadow network doesn't just control one flow, it controls the interdependencies between all of them. Disruptions are rarely purely accidental in this environment. Weather, accidents, and markets play roles, but state and corporate incentives shape responses and recovery. The actors who own the choke points decide who gets priority when capacity is tight. They shape the rules of the game. So what does this mean for ordinary people? Every time you rely on global supply chains, which is basically every day you're trusting a system optimized for efficiency over resilience, small shocks get amplified. Prices become volatile. Innovation that depends on reliable inputs can stall, and in a more tense world, these leverage points become strategic tools. The public sees empty shelves or higher prices. The people inside the system see the levers. Port operators, shipping alliances, mineral processors, chip foundries, and the governments that back them. But here's the part that changes everything. Awareness is the first step towards seeing the patterns. Once you recognize these choke points, you start noticing how random events follow predictable incentives. You understand why certain disruptions resolve faster for some players than others. And you realize the just-in-time miracle has a hidden cost extreme dependency on a shadow network. The modern world runs on these invisible architectures. They deliver abundance when they flow smoothly and pain when they constrict. The few who control the bottlenecks hold quiet power over the many who depend on the output. Next time your delivery is delayed, your gadget costs more, or headlines warn of shortages, remember, this isn't usually chaos. It's the shadow network operating exactly as designed, concentrated, fragile, and extraordinarily influential. The systems shaping your daily life are more centralized than they appear. Seeing them clearly is the only way to navigate a world where a handful of control points can redirect the future of technology, economies, and ordinary routines. Thanks for watching. If you want to understand more of the hidden structures behind modern life, subscribe and hit the bell. The next reveal is already in the works, and it might be even closer to home than you expect.